Carolyn. I'm Carolyn Marks, and my special guest and assistant today is Angela. Angela, say hello.
Hello.
This is Angela Martinez, a very, very sweet lady that helps out so much in the community, and I just had to have her on today. Isn't she lovely? Today, me and Angela are going to make you some greens. This is our greens. Today we're going to be cooking Swiss chard. Have you start chopping that. And what I'm going to show Angela to show you guys is, well, I didn't have to show her. Notice she rolled it up. Anytime you cook in greens, you roll them up and then you slice long ways. The other type of green that we'll be cooking today is kale. Kale is a super food, very rich in K and A. And this is a purple mustard green. And it's green and it has purple veins. Yummy, yummy, yummy. The same taste as a regular mustard green, and they all cook green.
Beautiful.
Yes.
And luscious.
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 Now, while Angela cut up the greens, the last thing on our menu for this dish is an edible marigold orange flower. It's just going to add some brightness and color and flavor to our greens. So, to get this flour ready, you're going to take off the stem and set it to the side, and you're going to open it up like a flower. So you just pull it apart, and notice they're just little bitty petals. We are going to lay these out, and we're going to start with the dish. The first ingredient in our dish is some homemade good old buttermilk butter, which I have already warming up. And to this, I'm going to add these fresh greens. And I'm going to add a little bit at a time so I can get it nice and covered. I can smell it, and it's not even done.
It smells great. I want it to crawl right inside that pan.
It's going to be good. Thank you, Angela. You're so sweet. And we want all the greens. The next thing I'm going to have Angela get ready for us is, these are turnips. These are purple top turnips, which are the bottom of the turnip greens. And I'm just going to hand these to you, and you just make them into small dices. While she do that, I'm going to continue to stir, because we want that shiny color and that brightness of the buttermilk butter. You don't always have to add meat to your greens. You can eat them just like this, and it tastes so good. I promise you'll want to share this recipe with your family and friends. So as I stir this up in here, the next thing I'm going to add is, and this is what the turnip looks like, by the way, before we make it all nice and clean and cut it up and dice it. I have some few slices here of garlic, fresh garlic, straight out of the garden here on Kansas City, Kansas Community College campus. And you just throw that in there. And you stir this. Notice I haven't added any seasoning yet. You want the natural flavor of it. These greens are nice and shiny now. That tells me that the butter has moved all around. Nice and good. So the next ingredient I'm going to add to this is some chopped red onion. I love onion. I love white onion, red onion, yellow onion. Red onion usually have a sweeter taste to it. So we're just going to sprinkle this around in here. And we're going to stir this in here nice and good. The next thing we're going to add is the turnips. The reason you want to add the turnips next is because they take a little time to cook because they're hard and you want them to get soft. And so that's why you dice them, so they can cook quick. And trust me, you can eat them raw and they are just as good. So I'm going to grab some of these that Angela cut. They're a nice size. Sprinkle all in there. You know, my grandmother used to make turnips by themselves. And I remember her, my grandmother be 99 this month, so she's still around. She just doesn't cook like she used to. But I remember when we were kids growing up, she would slice the turnips long ways.
Yes.
And let them saute in some butter.
Yes.
Oh
Brown.
my goodness, yes.
Yes.
And then we get this like this caramel crisp edge.
Yes.
And we were eating turnips and it was like we were eating greens, but in a texture way of this burst of flavors. I just love it.
And beautiful color.
Beautiful, beautiful. Now we want to add some salt. Perfect. This is some blackened season, which you know I use a lot of if you stay tuned to me, with some onion powder and garlic powder. Okay, if you want to just stir that up, Angela, please. It's coming together.
Smells great.
Ooh, can't leave this baby out. Why?
Now you get away.
No. While Angela's stirring that, I'm going, oops, I almost dropped it. Don't want to do that. I'm going to add a little bit Italian dressing.
Okay.
Don't ask me why it does what it does, but it adds such a robust and a kick. It makes the greens jump out at you. Just pour that in there like that.
Smells great.
Thank you. Now, while she does that, guess what I'm going to add? I'm going to add the edible flowers. So, I'm going to let you keep stirring, and I'm going to add it as you stir it. This might not seem like a big deal to add things the way I do, but trust me, there is a reason to my madness. It's a good reason.
It's a beautiful reason.
You see all that color?
Beautiful.
Just thinking, just imagine the buttermilk butter and the Italian dressing alone before we even add anything. So this is going to cook down and it's going to make a nice, flavorful, robust, triple tri-color green.
Beautiful colors.
We got mustard, we got super kale in there, we got Swiss chard. So versatile, so good, so delicious. We got a little bit of garlic in there, a little onion, and your seasoning, and that's all. It's easy. Welcome back. We're cooking with Carolyn and my special guest and assistant today, Angela.
Hi.
Hi, Angela. Well, as you know, when we left, we made some greens. What do we have in there?
Greens and garlic and turnips, all kinds of greens, and a flower, marigold flower.
Yes. And so that's finishing up, and we're going to be trying that very soon. But we thought we'd give you a little nice kick on the untraditional coleslaw. The main ingredient in coleslaw is cabbage. Now, as you can see here, it's in a little bit bigger chunks because our Sabrina, which is another assistant from our show, you've seen her before, helped us prep some of this. What Angela's going to do now is make it into thinner slices. While she does that, I'm going to let you know what comes next. The next thing that we would put in our coleslaw is some nice thinly cut red onion. Red onion, why? Because red onion is sweeter than any other onion. And I want it to taste sweet. So, again, this sweet red onion, I'm going to just kind of spread it around and make it all nice and presentable. They call it red onion, but it's purple, isn't it? It has a rich purple color to it, and it's very, very good for you. A lot of people like red onion because it's less mild. One of the things I also wanted to let you know is we're going to add just a little bit of tomato to this coleslaw. And the reason we're adding the tomato to the coleslaw because, again, we are making your untraditional coleslaw. So this coleslaw will have a sweet and sour flavor. Whenever you have a tomato, you can eat organically for pennies. And I know the rumor and the saying is organic eating is expensive, but Cooking with Carolyn is going to let you know it is so inexpensive. This tomato here holds about 50 seeds. And what I have is on a napkin is some dried tomatoes. All you need to do is place your seeds on a piece of napkin or cloth and they will dry. Next year, you can plant them in the ground and every last one of these little sweet babies will be a plant that give out way more than you can ever ask for. Now tell me, is that expensive?
Sounds free.
Thank you for slicing it. That's pretty good. Did you ever do any gardening growing up, Angela?
Yes, we gardened and we canned all of our gardening.
How about your mom? Was you with your mom, your grandma?
It was my grandma, and she taught me lots of things, little secrets, like we planted our tomatoes next to our rose bushes because my Grammy thought they would taste better and look better. And we always rotated our crops.
Interesting. Why do you rotate your crops?
Because different vegetables
Look at this.
take different nutrients from the ground, and different vegetables and fruits give different nutrients to the ground. So you rotate your crops so it doesn't deplete the soil.
Oh, so like if I put tomatoes over there, next year I might want to move them over here and put something else over there.
Absolutely. That's what I was taught. Absolutely.
I agree. You know, tomatoes give us magnesium.
Yes.
And so anytime your tomato plants or your pepper plants are looking a little limpy, all you need to do is add a little Epsom salt.
Absolutely.
Next thing we're going to add is Angela's going to cut up some of these apples. These apples were grown right here on the campus at KC Kansas Community College. Anytime you have a coleslaw, it's always good to have some type of apple in there because apple gives it a nice crunch and it makes it really sweet. So while she cuts up the apple, I'm going to add just a little bit of tomatoes, which we have here. All kind, and we just need a little, and I'm going to pour a little bit of the juice on there first.
That's the best part.
Notice I go back and forth, and then we're just going to dice a little, because you don't want too much because you don't want to take away from the apples and the sweetness. But you do want to add the texture and the richness of the bright red juicy tomatoes. And I'm just going to, as you see here, move this around and kind of organize it in a nice way where it's very presentable for your family and friends.
It makes a difference.
It does. The more the food is attractive, the more you want to eat it. So anytime you take your time and you make things presentable, that tells your family, your friends, and the world, which will be trying some today, that you love them. And that's called from the heart.
Absolutely.
I'm going to grab some of these apples. Nice, crunchy green apples. Sweet and tangy. Perfect. You know, I like all kind of apples. These are green apples, but you can use any kind of apple.
These have a tartness to them, right?
Yes, and that's good.
Yes.
So the next thing I'm going to add is the seasoning. As soon as she's done with this little bit here, we're going to just kind of add some simple things that all coleslaw has. First, we're going to add some salt. Salt pulls out the moisture and the flavor. And you just sprinkle it. Thank you, Angela. Next, we have some blackened and garlic powder and onion powder. Just gives it a kick. You don't have to add it. You can make it the way you want, add any kind of seasoning you want. This gives you some type of idea. The next thing that all coleslaw has is some regular whipped mayonnaise. I'm just going to take it and splot it in different spots because you want to stir it up. Thank you. And last but not least, some red vinegar and Italian seasoning with a little bit of oil in it. And you just put that on there. And I'm going to set it up here and let you stir that up, Angela. Good job.
Smells great, looks great.
It's all coming together. So world, I know that you've been trying and waiting for smell-o-vision. I got a special treat for you. I'm going to plate some of these beautiful greens. Remember, they're turnips, turnip bottoms, Swiss chard, mustard, and a little kale. Just put a little bit of that on there. You got to feed Angela and let her try some of her great work.
I can't wait.
You're going to love it. There you go. Let me know what you think.
Great.
How about the coleslaw? The texture and the sweetness mixed with the tanginess.
That was so luscious.
Good?
Beautiful.
Good.
Luscious.
You too can make this nice treat. Simple, easy, all vegetables, and it's fun and lovely.
And fresh.
Yes, it is. Join us next time for Cooking with Carolyn, where things are nice, simple, sweet, and delicious. See you later. And thank you, Angela, for
More
coming
than
on.
you're welcome.
You.
I appreciate you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.